And on the other side, you've got this very kind of chest-thumping Andrew Tate vision. And a lot of men are very confused as to what actual masculinity looks like. How are you guiding younger men in that minefield?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, in my work that I do with kids, I tend to stay away. I don't want to say I stay away from this, but I tend to stay away from the politicization of it because obviously I don't want to, touch this. I think really the best thing we can do is just model it and talk about that, for instance, like on, Sunday when I have my, group, I have a middle school group and a high school group, and when we talk about social anxiety and we talk about, how do guys form friendships and keep friendships and what do other guys need from you? I think to just talk about this in a very matter-of-fact way and not start from this premise of, men are toxic and they can't talk about their feelings, right? And you're going to be different because you're going to be able to verbally express feeling words. I think that we just we do it by modeling it, I think is the answer.
How does social anxiety manifest differently in younger men compared to women? And why are we not catching it as well?
Yeah, I don't even think it necessarily manifests differently. I think that, at least for kids that, we don't really talk about it. We don't teach kids about it. So they don't have a frame of reference for understanding what it is. So like for anxiety in general is very common with ADHD. 30% of individuals with ADHD also meet the criteria for an anxiety diagnosis. Often it's more mild, but, for the kids I work with who have ADHD and social anxiety, nobody's ever explained this to them. So they have no context for understanding it. So they often think they're the only one in the world who feels this way. And my thing is, when we can get, a group of boys or men together and be able to talk about this and help destigmatize it and help them feel like I'm not the only one, I think that's what's most important. And that's why I will only do groups with kids. I don't do individual, because I think particularly for boys and for young men, having a shared experience of seeing other guys their age who can, show some vulnerability, and it doesn't have to be dramatic vulnerability, right? It can just be like, yeah, I feel anxious sometimes. I think that's really powerful.